In a live interview series. My name is Nate Cross. I'm the digital content specialist here at Troy. I hope you're doing well. If you're joining us again, welcome back. Thank you for joining. And if you're new here, thanks so much for taking the time. These live interviews are a new series we've started here at Troy. There are going to be many more where this came from. The mission is to talk with as many members of our Troy team as we can, from product managers to department directors, sales managers, even vice presidents, to give our audience a better understanding of the exciting things we're doing in the world of document security and just overall company initiatives, and as well as we'll see today, a live product demo. So it's very exciting. If you missed our past few interviews, you can find them by scrolling our LinkedIn feed or going right to our YouTube channel. But today I'm very excited because I'm talking with someone very important to the Troy family, our manager of technical consulting and support, John Householder. John, how are you doing today?
Doing good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much for taking the time to do this. Really appreciate it.
hmm
Before we get into it, can you tell us a little bit about your background and your role at Troy as the manager of technical support?
Sure. So my name's John Householder. Currently the manager of pre-sales technical support here at Troy Group. Been with the organization for going on about 20 years now. Had various positions throughout my career here in pre-sales, post-sales, software development team. My current role within the organization is working not only with our sales team but with our resellers on customer-facing software demos, hardware demos, and positioning the appropriate hardware or software solution that meets the customer's requirements. In addition, I oversee several teams here at Troy that's responsible for compiling the AssurePay cloud product, along with a post-sales support team that's responsible for supporting all of our hardware, software, and consumable solutions out in the field. So if you have any issues in the field, you'll be reaching out to one of my team members for assistance.
Wow, so you got your hands in a lot of areas,
Yeah, yeah,
and I
definitely.
got to see a SurePay demo last week. Thank you so much for including
hmm
me in on that.
Yeah.
So in terms of the teams you manage, what is the day to day for your team look like?
Sure. So each team has various responsibilities. On the post-sales side, we're supporting both the hardware, consumables such as toner cartridges and cartridges, and the software solutions out in the field. So we try to respond to our customer support request within about 15 to 20 minutes of the request coming through the system, and then we get a support case rolling in the background. Now, depending on the severity of that issue, it could be escalated to level two or myself for additional product support. The current AssurePay team here, they're focused on customer builds, building out new cloud instances for our customers, customer-facing trainings, and any level two escalations that may arise during the week. Normal kind of turnaround time on new AssurePay cloud builds is around 2 to 3 weeks upon receipt of all the customer deliverables, and then we produce the customer's cloud instance, and then from there they go into kind of testing and then moving them over to live within a matter of weeks. In addition, I kind of perform some additional uh, software and hardware demos as it relates to our production print team, as it relates to the Konica Minolta solutions out there, and performing them demos, ensuring the customer's solution will work when it's implemented out in the field.
Wow. So very quick turnaround time,
hmm
having your hands in a lot of areas again. But you mentioned AssurePay a few times, which is
Yes.
our cloud-based check printing software that we have at Troy. Um, what can you tell us in terms of functionality of AssurePay before we get into the
hmm
live demo?
Yeah, sure. So AsurePay Cloud is very intuitive check printing software that allows customers in both accounts payable, payroll departments to be quickly trained on the solution within a short period of time. You'll see that here in the demo. AsurePay Cloud is hosted on Microsoft Azure, so it offers about a 99.7% uptime, and we mix that in with a numerous kind of cloud clustered servers in the background. That's all high availability. So by doing this, we can achieve basically automated failover with no downtime for our customers. Uh, in addition, we can process many different types of check batch files out there from various CRM systems like NetSuite per se. That's XML, CSV, or flat text files. The software, it also has SSO capabilities, single sign-on, which is great for the IT teams out there to manage the end users and their roles within the software. We also have multi-factor authentication, so that all those kind of features and capabilities really give the customer the level of security that they expect from the cloud software. Uh, in addition, it is a user and user role-based system, so customers can use this for not only payroll, but accounts payable, disbursement checks. HR can even use it to print checks, and we can have the level of control where accounts payable cannot see payroll, bank accounts, and so forth.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. We also recently implemented an API. So this will give customers the ability to kind of have the software define a specific subset of folders of where we import from. And then it would automatically import it into the batch headers screen here in the software. So when you log in the morning, you have a couple batch files already imported into the software. So it really saves the end user a lot of time to having to go and import and process checks on a daily basis. One new feature we just implemented is the ability to kind of restrict IP addresses out there. So if someone attempts to log into a SurePay cloud from an IP address that is not allowed on the list, their login will be revoked. So we've got a lot of good things happening here with the product. That's really beneficial for the customer.
Yeah, absolutely. It sounds like we're scaling up check printing and also scaling up security.
Hmm.
Um,
Absolutely.
so not to kind of, jump into things, but can we see a live demo of the AssurePay software?
Yeah, let's jump into it.
Let's
Yeah,
do
let's
it.
see. Take a look at it. So you should be able to see their SurePay cloud here now.
Yep.
Okay, great. So this is our SurePay Cloud UAT site. So if a customer moves forward with a SurePay Cloud, they'll have two cloud instances. You'll notice here at the top, UAT, that's user acceptance testing, your sandbox environment. So we'll build out your cloud instance, and then you can access this and then perform your due diligence to make sure everything's going to work correctly. Once you're satisfied with everything, at that point, we'll move you over to the live system within about 24 to 48 hours. And then once that occurs, you now have access to the live system. And then from there, you can kind of stage your go live at any point in the future when your team sees fit.
Hmm.
Okay. So I'm logged in as an administrator here, so I'm going to see all the menu options here on the left-hand side, and these are normally the menu options that a accounts payable, payroll, disbursement person is going to be able to access. And depending on their configuration, they may not have access to manual checks, generate checks, some of these other menu options. Okay. Down further, you'll see the configuration options here, menu options. These are normally restricted to an administrator on your side. So this allows you to add new users, accounts, companies, branches, authorization groups, and roles. So you normally don't want somebody who's processing the checks to have access to a lot of this configuration under this section. Okay. So what I'll do, I'll jump into basically processing a check batch file here on our side, and to kind of show you what the actual accounts payable or a payroll user would see. So once they logged in, they'll be automatically dropped straight onto this import file page you see here.
Hmm.
And then from the drop down, depending on their configuration, they may have more import profiles, they might only have one. So if we select demo AP, click browse, we'll come out here, select a TXT file, and we'll go ahead and click import. Once it's done importing, it'll take us straight to the batch headers here. And here's the batch file that we just imported. Okay, so I'll go ahead and select it here, click on the view details, and it breaks that batch file down. So if I scroll down in this batch file, we got about 16 checks within it. At the top, you can filter it based off the check date, check value, check number, payee name, so forth. We'll scroll down here to the bottom. We'll select this check for Jim, click on the preview button, get a screen pop here. And then here's the sample check. So it's check on top. Customer's check can be top, middle, bottom, letter, legal size. Will meet what your current output is today in terms of your check style. In the top right corner, we can increase the number of pages. This one has about 3 pages of overflow, and that overflow can go to a different tray altogether that has plain copy paper in it. Okay. Once you're ready to print, the end user can go ahead and just select all and click print, and the job is sent to your local workstation's microprinter. In addition, they can also just hold down their shift key. Maybe they want to exclude that bottom check here for Jim and just print 15 checks. In addition, there's a secondary workflow, authorization workflow or approval workflow. So once that user imports the checks, they have to go through an approval process. So at this point, they'll click on request authorization. You'll get this screen pop here. At this point, they'll go ahead and click OK, and then you'll see the status has changed to authorization requested. At this point, an approver would log in, usually somebody that's a VP in the finance or a GM in finance. They would log into AssurePay Cloud. Here's that same batch file. They'll review it, make sure everything matches up to what was generated out of their main CRM system, and do a total check count, total value count, and then they'll select all and approve. And at that point, that user would come back into the system and the status would change from pending authorization to then authorized. Now, I can't show you that because I can't approve my own batch of checks, but another approver would log in to do this. Okay, so it gives the customer a greater control over what checks are being printed and who's approving those as well. So once the checks have been printed, at that point, the customer can go ahead, select that batch again, and go ahead and click on that archive button. And at that point, everything is archived behind the scenes to run reports off of what was printed. And then the batch file is removed from the software. Okay. In this case, I'm just going to go ahead and delete it because I want to reuse that batch file again. In addition, we have some other features here, such as manual checks. If you ever need to print a one-off check, some systems cannot do single check printing, you have to do batch printing. So user can come in here, uh, have a payee already kind of predefined in here, select it, it'll populate all these fields, and then you just enter in the check value, check number, and then save and exit. At that point, in your batch headers, that's where that manual check would appear, and then that check could then be printed. So nice, easy way to do a quick one-off check for whatever reason you need to generate one for. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very intuitive,
Mhm.
lots of features that make your check printing process very simple. But I do have a few questions for you that customers might be curious about. So, what if you have multiple bank accounts for multiple companies?
Yeah, absolutely. So taking a quick peek here at the bank account. So in here, we can have one account, we can have 1,000 accounts. There's really no limit to the number of accounts and banks we can set up in here, really. Uh, so once you come in here, you can define those accounts and you can make a quick copy of those to give you kind of a good baseline to start from. And once you set up that new account, you can easily come into that account properties by clicking this edit button. And then from here, you can change the account number, what the company is affiliated to, what bank it's affiliated to, the company address, among numerous other print options here, kind of under the hood settings as it relates to signatures, what printers, check styles, and so forth. So yeah, great question. It's really unlimited in terms of the number of accounts you can set up here within the cloud.
Wow. Okay. And what about positive pay? And is that can that be integrated into a SurePay check?
Yes, absolutely. So if we come in here, take a look at the export template. So positive pay can be defined on each bank account that's set up or account that's set up. So basically, the customer would provide us with their positive pay requirements. And then from there, we'd come in and basically build out a positive pay export file. So whenever you go ahead and you process a batch of checks, we can have it configured to automatically generate a positive pay file. Now, also, if accounts payable or payroll does multiple payments throughout the day, it can append that positive pay file automatically. So at the end of the day, you have a single positive pay file that you can then export from the cloud. And once it's exported, it'll be dropped into this export manager. And then from here, you can see on the screen, just go ahead and click download. The positive pay file is downloaded. And then at that point, you can then upload it to your appropriate bank's positive pay portal. So fairly seamless process here for positive pay.
Yeah, it really seems like it. Um, One more question I have in terms of micro check printing and kind of making sure that everything's in line. Like when you're
Mhm.
printing a check like this, printing your own custom checks, you want to make sure that everything is kind of in the right place
Mhm.
on the check. Are you able to send test checks to the bank just to
Yes.
kind of make sure that everything is set up right?
Yes, absolutely. So that is one of the features here we included in the AssurePay Cloud. So if we come into the menu options to the generate checks option, so from here you can select test, and then from here you can select from the drop down whichever account you wish to print some sample checks from. And then from here you can increase it to, let's say, 5 checks. Click on the generate checks option, get a little screen pop here. And then at this point, jump over to your batch headers, select this batch file here, and then here's all the test checks. So we'll take a quick peek at one, do a preview of one. It has test payee name, some generic address. The check amount is set to 0, and it has the microline here as well. So this sample of checks could then be sent over to the bank. They'll test everything through their readers on their side, make sure everything's correct. And then at that point, usually give you a thumbs up that everything looks great. And then at that point on your side, you can move over to the live system and start printing checks from AssurePay Cloud. Just a couple other things here. It is again SSO based, so single sign-on. So it really helps the IT side out with managing the users here, right? So we come in here, all the users can be managed through the company's SSO platform or software that they use. So then, if somebody comes on board or leaves the organization, it would remove them from the main CRM system as well as AssurePay Cloud. So these type of security procedures here is what customers are looking for to help manage the users from an AssurePay cloud or just a cloud standpoint in general, right?
Wow, so it sounds like you kind of thought of everything in terms of functionality and
Hmm.
the way that a SurePay check can be used. Thank you so much for showing us this demo of a SurePay check. If you have nothing else to add, I can let you go.
Okay, sounds good. I appreciate the time, Nathan.
Yeah, thank you so much for taking the time and showing us the SurePay check today. Thank you so much for joining. If you're here with us, like I said before, you can scroll through our LinkedIn page and find previous LinkedIn lives as well as this one, or go to our YouTube channel. You can also follow John on LinkedIn through the QR code in the top left-hand corner. And we'll see you